Hello once more, my wonderful friends. It is time, once again, for Neckbeard stories. I know you're excited, I am. From Reddit user Pufferfluff, an angel, a Pitbull, and a beard. Okay. This is the tale of my series of beardy encounters. The first time I met a truly awful beard. The characters. Me. I'm a college student training to be a physical therapist. 21, little over average height, have short, dark, auburn hair. I have blessings and curses of having an hourglass figure, similar to those that frequently appear in fantasy games. I'm known as quirky by most people, and I'm highly protective and affectionate with the people I care about. For this reason, my pit bull, Buster, is the perfect dog for me. He'll be relevant later. My fatal flaw is that I tend to be non-judgmental, and I always want to believe in the good of everybody. My best friend, Puff, sweet little thing, about half an inch under 5 foot. She's got long blonde hair, rosy chubby cheeks. She's 21, but also frequently mistaken for a high schooler, or sometimes younger. She loves bunnies and all things adorable, and she can get fiery if she's truly angry, though. My boyfriend, Cinder. Basically, what you'd expect a computer science major to look like. Tall, pale, willowy with shaggy hair and thick glasses because his vision is just that bad. However, his thick, dark, wavy hair, striking eyes, and surprisingly powerful shoulders have always been extremely attractive to me. He's a great listener and very compassionate in character. His fatal flaw is that he's not very observant. Our story starts a little after midnight in our small college town. Both Cinder and I work part-time along with our classes, so we're often forced to do any errands we need to pretty late at night. Luckily, there's a 24-hour grocery store nearby. That night, we went together. We're in the produce aisle when I smell something ungodly awful. I work with cadavers pretty regularly in my classes, and have had an internship at an inpatient rehab where a colostomy bag burst, but this was somehow worse than both of those. Something had to be rotting. I tried to be helpful, spotted a store assistant, and walked up to them to tell them. I must have also been getting closer to this rotted food because the smell just seemed to be getting worse. "Excuse me," I said. The great hulking mass of a man spun around, and when I saw the state of him, I realized the smell was him. His face was adorned with long, scraggly beard that was spotted with sores that looked like painful ingrown hairs. Ugh. His face shone with sweat, which made his greasy shoulder-length hair cling to it. His armpits showed even more. He was massive in all ways imaginable. He must have been 6'3" at the shortest, and his shoulders were twice as wide as mine, and I'm no tiny thing. His bulging stomach and fat rolls must have made it impossible for him to see his own feet. His shirt was dotted with a few stains that looked like they may have been mustard. His beard parted into what I'm sure he thought was a charming smile, but chilled me to the bone. His surprisingly small, beady eyes had zeroed in on me. I'm not the type of person who could just tell him he smelled. I can't find the spinach, I murmured instead. "Oh," he says in a voice much higher than expected for his size. "You look too good to be on a diet food like that." He then licks his lips. I tried to convince myself it was my imagination. Must have just been dry and chapped, right? No, I like spinach, actually, I squeaked, and he pointed off in the general direction, and I quickly scurried back to Cinder, who seemed to not have noticed much of this confrontation. I grab his hand and pull him along with me as I grab some spinach. He leans in closer. "You sure you want to get food here?" he whispers. "Something smells really foul." "Yeah, I know, it's that guy over there," I hissed, which is pretty obvious who I meant because the store was very empty. Cinder turned quickly and looked. Why is he glaring at me? I don't know. The rest of the shopping trip went without incident, though he looked at the two of us a little too long sometimes when he passed by. Shopping trip number 2. This was a completely normal shopping trip right up until the end. Right before we went to check out, I realized I had grabbed the wrong treats for my Pitbull, so I asked Cinder to hold our things and went back to the pet aisle to replace them. Buster's normal treats were out of stock, so I had to find something else. He has allergies to both corn and soy, so I had to bend down and read the ingredients on each package. I then smelled something looming behind me. "How cruel," the beard mused. "He made you walk back all this way. He should treat you better." I was flabbergasted at his attitude. I was a total stranger to him, and he's questioning my taste and my life partner? "He treats me well, thank you," I said curtly. "This is for my dog, not his." "Oh, he should be spoiling you. You shouldn't have to do any extra work. I would spoil you like that if I had you. I look better than him anyway." Oh. He didn't do that last part, I just really wanted to do that. I stormed off without a word. I also threw up in my mouth a little at his suggestion. I was shocked that greasy ogre had that level of confidence. I rejoined Cinder and left fast as possible. I had to talk him down from exploding about it when I told him when we got back. Shopping trip number 3. This time, I made a mistake. I went alone into that store, but it was early morning by now. I thought the beard shift would be over. I was going to take a hike with Buster that morning, but I was going to pick up some snacks before we went. He was waiting in the car while I was in the grocery store. The only worker I saw by the time I checked out was a sweet old lady who had a pleasant conversation with me. I went out with my bags and saw the beard returning carts to the train of them outside. I hustled to my car as fast as I could. "What a beautiful sight first thing in the morning," he calls after me, starting to follow me closely with an impressively fast stride for his weight. I didn't dare turn around, and I was too afraid to speak. I locked my car remotely when I was a few feet away, and the next thing I knew, his hand was opening my door as if he was trying to be gentlemanly. I'm shaking like a leaf. Buster leaps out. He's a sweet dog who had never disliked anyone he met, until now. I don't know if it was the ungodly smell that hurt his sensitive doggy nose, or he just knew how uncomfortable I was. He growled, teeth showing, raised hackles. I snatched his leash, now in fear that he may attack and I could lose him. Buster crouched in front of me, glaring down the beard and growling and barking like he'd lost all his senses. The beard ran much faster than I thought possible. Buster went back to his normal self. Tail went back to the non-stop wiggle it always has, and he licked my hand and looked at me with his bright eyes. He looked proud, as if to say, "I did it! I saved you from the scary, smelly man!" Someone got a lot of treats that day. The finale. Halloween night. I was going out with my friends that night to a party. Cinder wasn't feeling well, and I was really worried about him, but he encouraged me to go because Puff was excited to have a costume that went with mine, and she loves Halloween so much. I was an angel. She's a devil. I still insisted on checking on him via text every hour or so. I got ready with Puff. My costume had just come in the day before, so I hadn't really tried it on yet. It was too tight. Way too much cleavage. I'm embarrassed, but Puff is encouraging me. It's only our close friends at the party. No one's gonna judge you. Puff's right, of course. It was a great night up until the party ended. Puff and I live in different residence halls, and the one she lives in also happens to be the one Cinder lives in. We decided to go check on him. His roommate opened the door and says, I don't think he's doing well. Cinder was running quite a fever and murmuring softly under his breath. I asked his roommate to watch him. I knew Cinder wouldn't agree to the hospital until he felt near death. He was that kind of stubborn. Puff and I rushed to get some medicine to take his fever down. Puff drove to the closest place with a pharmacy, which happened to be the 24-hour grocery store. Predictably, the Beard was down one of the pharmacy aisles. I ignore him, Puff following close behind me. It was the first time that I'd seen him since the incident with Buster. I was pretty sure he'd leave me alone. The pharmacy section had some unusually short shelves, maybe about 4 feet tall. I had to squat to get what I was looking for. Puff suddenly jumped down to my level 2. "We're being watched," she hisses. I look up and, oh yeah, there he is, looming over the shelves from the other side, looking down at us, licking his lips. Heat came to my face as I realized I'm still in that way too showy costume. Ugh. He licks his lips yet again. "Oh, perfect angel and a mischievous little imp." He's staring down directly at my cleavage. I snapped, stood up, grabbed the medicine, grabbed Puff's arm, and yelled something really embarrassing in my attempt to be badass. "Get lost, ogre!" I marched off, pulling Puff at high speeds. "Whoa, wait!" he calls out. When I stopped, we lost him. Puff was tearing up. "It's okay," I said. "I'm going to report him to the manager." No, you don't understand." I looked back. He had his hand down his pants, and his pants were damp. Oh my fucking god. Oh. The Beard no longer works at that store. Quick note, most of these trips we ran into the Beard were pretty spaced out. We didn't run into him every time, which is why we kept going to this store. Whoa! You know, when I first started this story, I expected to hear about creepy neckbeards, but I did not expect public masturbation to be the final caveat. God damn. That was some shit. I am so glad that he's not around people anymore. That's a huge plus. I'm sorry that you had to witness that, though. Fuck. That is... Ugh. Ugh. Total fucking gross. Got a little vomit right here, right in the back of your throat. Ugh, that is really gross. What a fucking pervert. Whew. Okay. So, as I said in the last couple of videos, at the end of this, I'm going to answer a question submitted by one of you. So, this is the question. Reddit user, the Rax3phon, RAHX3PHON. Raxion? I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. What software do you use? Well, that's a many-layered question. I guess I could explain the process by which a Moonhorse episode is made. So, I do all of my recording in my office. And I use Audacity to record all the audio. I have a Snowball Ice microphone, which is where all the, is microphone. I don't know why I felt the need to describe how a microphone works. Yeah, so I use that, and I record everything through Audacity. Now, first thing I should probably point out, because a lot of people do, whenever I explain, the software that I'm using, they're just like, why? I don't know about that. And it's like, yeah, everything I do runs on Linux. I don't have I questionably have a Windows machine, but I'll explain that in a minute. Pretty much every episode is made using Linux-based software, so everything's recorded through Audacity and is edited through a program called Kdenlive, which I honestly really love. Now, that being said, as I said, I kind of run everything on Linux. I have a separate laptop for the video game episodes, which runs Windows 10. And I need that so I can use OBS to collect all this data and whatever, Anyway. But other than that, everything is done on Linux, and everything is done on a multitude of computers. All the editing is done on my larger computer. But yeah, I hope that helps with some of the questions about what software I use. If you're wanting to know more, I use a lot of different other software for other things, but that's not necessarily connected to recording. Anyway, if you'd like to ask your own questions, or even submit your own stories, or whatever the hell you want me to do, specifically when it comes to reading and shit, you can send all of those to my subreddit at r/Moonhorse Stories. If you'd like to support this channel, I have a Patreon, and I also sell t-shirts and shit. Links to all these things and more are in the description down there. Don't know why I keep doing that. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. I love you all, and goodbye!